Congratulations, 5th album in stores now. Yeah. God Forgives, I Don't. Yeah, so some love. Now, let's talk about the title. Where'd that come from?
You know, as far as the title, I just wanted to approach it like a movie, like a film. I wanted it to feel like you just walked into a theater to listen to an album. God Forgives, I Don't. And everywhere I've been, I've just been letting everybody know, it's just a real powerful album. It's a real musical album. You know what I'm saying? It's I put a lot much more into this album than I have any of my previous, and I'm just extremely happy about it. Y'all make some noise for that God Forgives, I Don't. You heard?
So you got Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, Neo, Meek Mill, Omarion, Usher, Wale, Drake, and I would say, at least for me personally, the biggest one of all, you got Andre 3000 on that. Wow. And not only do you have Andre 3000 on the song 16, he also played the banjo on it, and he said he's going to direct the video, right? So just talk about that experience in getting him on the album and working with him on the album.
I had one of my partners reach out to Dre, and, we finally got on the phone, and I just expressed how much, I was a fan, first and foremost, and he did the same, and, once we agreed to doing the collaboration, I just wanted it to have that vintage Outkast sound. I love all of their projects, but I just wanted to, try to tap into that Aquemini and just do something that was, extremely unique, especially for me. You know what I'm saying? And, he was over in Ireland filming the Jimi Hendrix movie. Yeah, so we just did a lot of Skyping back and forth. And, shout out to the Justice League who produced the beat. We just did something different, you know what I'm saying? Went to that next level. 16 ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? We went above and beyond. We both rapped over 40 bars each. Just doing it out of love for the music. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it's about. Yeah.
A lot of people kind of stereotype Southern artists, that Southern artists make a certain type of music and really don't get out of the region. What do you think it is that has taken you to that international level where you're working with artists from up north, from out west, you working with R&B artists, you have that wide appeal that a lot of Southern artists don't really get or get that chance to have?
I think at the end of the day, we all make the music we want to make, you know what I'm saying? And when I do see artists that sometimes label regional or however you may have it, if I'm a fan, I'm a fan. And being an artist, I always feel like you one record away from going or being whatever it is you want to be. But as far as me, I was just as much influenced by Eric B. and Rakim as I was Luke. You know what I'm saying, coming from Miami or any of the other Southern rappers. So I always just wanted to balance my music as much as I could, keep it universal. And I think that's, that's a part of, that's some of the things that separate me from other artists.
And I was reading that Sway actually surprised you when you were on his show and had Eric B., who you really appreciate, come in. What was that like to meet somebody that you looked up to when you were coming up?
Well, when I first seen Eric B. and Rakim for the first time, they celebrating their 25th anniversary of the Paid in Full album. I probably was, one of their age, you know what I'm saying? And I just remember looking at their jackets, you know what I'm saying, their jewels, and the music they made. And even more important, it was like, wow, it's somebody from the same community as me enjoying life and doing what they want to do and being who they want to be. And I think just that entrepreneurship is something that really caught my eye at an early age, and that's why I'm always screaming boss, because that's what you want to work to be out here in life. Ain't nothing wrong with starting at the bottom. Ain't nothing wrong with if you working on the aisles at Publix, if you mopping floors at Mickey D's. It's all about grinding up to where you want to be, which is the boss.
And great segue, speaking of boss, you are the boss, Maybach Music Group. You've acquired a lot of hot artists that are really doing their thing right now, Meek Mill, Wale, Omarion. What made you step out, again, this is kind of going back to the regional thing, what made you step out of the South and reach out to Philly, reach out to DC, reach out to the West Coast and say, these are the artists that I want on my roster to represent me and my brand?
You know, I think that falls back on that unity energy that I love. I believe we should unify the game. I believe that we all should be able to work with each other regardless of where you're from, who you with, what it's about. I think as bosses and businessmen, we all should be able to get on the same page and spread that same energy and that same love. And that's what I did it for, basically. You know what I'm saying? That was always my dream, and it was just a blessing for, you know, just to be able to work with artists that's as talented as a Wale, Meek Mill, Rocky Fresh, Stally, Gunplay, Omarion, and I think, you know, everybody in their own lane, and I think that's what makes it even better.
And talk a little bit about the experience of being an artist some days, but then having to be a boss, cutting checks, making people do things that maybe they don't necessarily want to do, but that's going to benefit them as an artist, benefit Maybach Music Group. How do you balance that? How do you deal with that, you know, both being on both sides of the fence?
You know, when we in the studio, we all on the same playing field. We all on the same level. It's just all about making the best records, putting the most emotion we can into the music. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel I'm no bigger than any other artist on Maybach Music when we in the studio. When we out of the studio and I put on the boss cap, it's really just to make sure the plays that's, you know, supposed to get executed. You know what I'm saying? That's my responsibility. And I love that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, because me spending all the time I spent just trying to get on, it just gave me a lot of know-how, you know what I'm saying? And it just made me a lot more confident in everything I did. So it is what it is, and I think that's what make MMG a special situation is you got an artist himself running this label, and I know what you need, I know what you're thinking, I know what you're talking about, and I just try to make that happen.
And, you know, a while back you started working with Diddy. Are you still working with Diddy? And what is that relationship? I've heard different things, manager, business manager, brand manager. What's the nature of your relationship with Diddy?
Shout out to Puff, first and foremost. That's my close partner, you know what I'm saying? He's been a mentor to me for a long time, and, you know, he's there for me. I was just in his office 2 days ago, just going over different things. I am an official Ciroc boy, and he just give me great advice. You know, he's one of the biggest, you know, black entrepreneurs in the world. And for that to be birthed in music and hip-hop, I think that's something we all should take advantage of. It's a lot of knowledge for us all. And, you know, the path I'm taking, I most definitely need some key advice from the homie. And that's what he do. He look out, and he's a good dude.
All right, well, let's get back to the album, God Forgives, I Don't, in stores now. What is your personal favorite track on that album, and why?
Well, it's hard to really say what's the favorite track because they all mean, you know, and they all do different things and say different things that I be wanting to make sure I get across. So they all special in their own way, you know. But you know, I love to acknowledge the different records. You know, if you got all my previous albums, it's most definitely records like, you know, Three Kings, something that I've never done, you know what I'm saying, 16, The Soulful Ashamed, 9/11, Diced Pineapples for the Ladies. It's just a well-balanced project. It's in stores right now, and I need y'all to go get that.
In stores right now, God Forgives, I Don't. Now, I read that you plan on shooting a video for every song on the album. Why? Why you want to do that?
It's just that, you know, I realize the fans love watching the videos, you know, sometimes more than just hearing the record sitting in their home. They'll love to watch the visuals to go with it. And I'm in that position now, you know what I'm saying, where I can make these things happen. And it's not about, a monetary game. It's really just giving them those visuals to go with the record. You know what I'm saying? And I just released 9/11 15 minutes before I walked in here. So y'all can go online, check that out, download it. You know what I'm saying? It's all up.
All right, well, since you mentioned visuals and you're shooting videos for everything, any plans on maybe making a movie? Or I know you've released some videos online, kind of mini reality shows, kind of following you around on your weekends in Miami or your big shows. Any plans on really taking that to the next level and going with a show or some kind of feature-length film?
That's always a beautiful thing, but it's not something that I'm really rushing into. I really love making records. I really love the music. I really love being in the studio on my 5th album when, other artists that's, at my caliber. I still love coming to the radio stations and sitting here and touching the people that support me and just support the culture. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the little ones, you know what I'm saying? Because I know when I was their age, those were the images that caught me the most. Just looking at someone successful and knowing I could be that, or I could do that, or just even if I had the shot to do that. And that's what it's about at the end of the day, just inspiring each other, you know what I'm saying? And, do your thing.